Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you to the podcast run by PM-Strategist Corner. This podcast is run to help businesses and professionals together for their learning interests and to bring them a second opinion for the problems and the issues they may be facing on their projects, on their works in the business and in the profession. Luckily, we have a very learned speaker with us, and Dr. Mohammad Ichsan. He's going to be explaining his approach. So before I do that, let me move on to the area of what I'm going to talk about. Here, as you see, that PM-Strategist is the entity which is helping the business industries with the support consulting and training for advancements to their strategic directions. So the agenda for the podcast is that I'm going to bring you the understanding of the PMO strategies, the PM-Strategist Corner, and the purpose of the Strategist Corner podcast, the insightful views and experience of the speaker and guidance for the advancements, and what services are provided by PM-Strategist Corner. So this is the plan, and I'm going to share all this. So starting with the PM-Strategist Corner is the entity, as I said earlier, and it is there to help businesses to move to their strategic directions with the full force of the knowledge and the experience provided by learned professionals who have been through that situation. So let me explain you the purpose of this podcast. This podcast is again is captured to capture the views, experience, and wisdom of the learned speaker. What and how the learned speaker was able to support the businesses and professionals in the past, and because the past is past, and of course you simply have to learn from there. But for advancements, what is his particular opinion, how to move up? So this is what I'm going to do, and here is my exposure. My name is Aslam Mirza. I am PM-Strategist Corner founder and CEO, and I'm practicing strategic project management professional. This way, I help businesses to move in their strategic directions and build their competence at the projects in the business to reach to their desired outcomes. And the desired outcomes essentially is not only in the present time, is not only to earn money, is essentially to stay in business for longer term, is to satisfy the stakeholders, meet and exceed their expectations, and to move on with the expertise gained in the market and move on. So that is what where my setup, my entity helps the businesses and the professionals. So moving on, I'm sorry, I need to share with you my 4 books because that is my insights captured in there, and these 4 books are written under the theme of Aura. Aura is AURA, and that is essentially the energy surrounding a person or a team who have achieved that level of expertise and competence to help themselves and to their businesses to move to their desired outcomes of the works they are assigned. So Aura A goes for applying project management principles, practices, and acknowledge for organizational transformation. You go for understanding human factors and workplace challenges, or that goes for respecting diversity, creating meaningfulness, creating teams meaningfulness, and going for leadership. Again, or that is agility in project management and collaboration. So these four knowledge areas helps the professional and the businesses to move and develop the required competence to move to their desired strategic directions. So this is briefly I thought I must share with you. Further, my exposure you can learn from LinkedIn and from PM project management website. Let me move on to Dr. Ichsan. He's learned professional, has got very extensive exposure to business and to teaching. I may not be successful in bringing his entire exposure and profile. Let me request Dr. Ichsan to provide his profile and experience and knowledge for the prospective participants. Dr. Ichsan, please.
Okay. First of all, Mr. Mirza, thank you very much for having me here. I think it's really a great honor to be in this session. I know it is not only that I will be learning here a lot from you, from the audience, but also allow me also to share my experience. So then we have mutual benefits. Actually, I come from practitioners rather than the academician. I think I would say 2/3 of my whole experience are actually coming from professional works. I've been starting. I've started my career in project management, starting from project engineer up to the senior vice president in one telecommunication company back in, the last one was in 2014, so it's a while ago. And since then, actually, it's somehow the academia has been attracting me, because at the time we have been struggling with talents, especially in project management, considering from the country where I come from, Indonesia. We have been developing I would say massive infrastructures, where actually have been requiring I would say a lot of project management talents. And since then, I think my area is more probably I would say my call, Mr. Mirza. That why don't we just prepare the talents from very beginning, and therefore I changed the lab, becoming an academia, providing insights and teach younger generation to be ready with the demands. Not only preparing them, but also learning from the industry what they need, because you've been starting this discussion with the dynamics of the business. The way we run the business probably in the past 10 years is different what we have been doing now. And therefore, it's really good, to interlink between professional work or professional communities with the academic institution. So I would say I would think myself as professionals that have a scholar background, but I would say I would rather put myself right now as experienced teacher, experienced assistant professor that that are ready to develop a younger generation. My area, my teaching area is mostly our project management. But the good thing is that I've been moving my way, the way I see project management, from more towards deliverables into strategic perspective. And I would like to share something useful, hopefully useful for all of us, how we balance the whole thing between the strategic objectives, and what we or how we manage the project. So then everything is aligned. So that's pretty much about me, Mr. Mirza.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's very impressive. Thank you very much. And I really welcome you. And I'm really lucky to have you in on this podcast and to have your experience and learning and views and wisdom to share with the prospective participants. And that naturally it will bring them much value. Definitely. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Mirza.
Okay, so let's see the issue of the day that we are going to talk about. That is business complexities. Well, as you know, that business complexities are prevalent in the present time, and what are listed down here, these are the bare minimum, because every day there are something new coming up and adding to this. So all these areas are making the businesses to put into difficult scenarios and to manage them in an effective manner is challenging. So here, the areas which are listed down under external, these are impacting the businesses' advancements. The internal areas are there, which businesses are required to manage to make them strong enough to face the external challenges and to keep their business flow. They need to create their competence and enhance their competence in our operational area. But to keep their business for time to come, they need to have strategic directions and to move strategically in an effective manner. So in this way, the external complexities brings challenges to the business, and businesses are required to develop their internal strength and operationalize their strength for flow of the business and the future. Then they secure through strategic directions and with managing all these challenges. So my request, my point to Dr. Ichsan will be that how he was able to help out the businesses and to help out the professionals together to move and deal with these complexities in an effective manner. Here, let me make it clear that you may not require to touch upon every area of the complexities. I will only request to touch those areas, particularly where you have very strong knowledge, strong exposure, and you have strong values to share with the professionals who are going to take advantage of your knowledge. With this, Dr. San, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mirza. I think the way I see this, it's really it's really challenging how to distinguish and to isolate these four factors, because I mean these four factors are as important, and it's really hard to isolate which one is actually more important among each other. However, I would like to say more exploring in the perspective of internal factors. The reason is, I would say, dealing with business, it is definitely a way of balance between long-term and short-term goals, where the short-term goals is actually dealing with the operationals, and the long-term goals basically we deal with how we do moving forwards, with a set of strategies that we formulate and we plan. And to do that, what we call in management term is ambidextrous. So because at the same time we exploiting what we have, at the same time we also exploring new things to be more competitive in the market, and moving towards that. I think we need to know where we are. So this is what I would start with: capabilities. So capabilities deals that how could we fulfill the demand, right? So I would touch with the three mainly sub factors, basically people, process, and tools. Dealing with projects, as I said before, in the last, I would say 10, 15 years, we've been struggling, to set up our capabilities, seeking the right talents, sometimes not even seeking, we try to manage what we have right now by developing them. But I think the way we set up our capabilities shall start from the people, right? Because at the end of the day, doing the business is all about people. And as I said, especially in doing the business in an organization where most of the activities are done in the or using project management approach, it's really challenging because not only or not particularly maintaining or managing, say, the dynamics within the organization itself, within the deliverables itself, but also the external factors. They the pastel, the VUCA, they have been changing the way we do the works, the way the requirement, the way the demands the way the customer wants. They keep on influencing the way what we do right now. However, people finding the right balance is very essential, particularly the talents in project management. Why? Because the way we deal with projects is slightly different. We deal with new things. We deal with changes. We deal with dynamics. So we need to find people that is, I would say, adaptive and have the capabilities in dealing with that conditions. Not particularly for the or from the aspect of the dynamics itself, but also in terms of numbers, the quantities. I mean, you've been experiencing with construction projects, Mr. Mirza, and I mean, dealing with one project itself is already a challenge, and how the multiplication factors or the numbers, the factors that the increasing numbers of the projects will top up all the complexities, and therefore the way we manage the projects shall slowly shift from the way we see the projects in pico level into a micro, even to macro, into the organization level. Why? Because sometimes the business change because the external factors, and because of this change, that will affect the current project that is running, or even the other way around. Probably with the challenges that we deal with the projects, that push back to the organization to change the strategy, right? So this this cycle is somehow how should I say, is somehow fitting with with the requirements, so that it's like a dynamic change, right? So we cannot expect that things will stop or will slowly slowly move. They will be moving, okay, and they will be moving even much faster, I would say, right? So that's from the perspective of people. And the second things, I think, also from the perspective of process. Remember, the way the organization do the activities actually will not or cannot be split with the way how it works, right? The way how it works, that's exactly what I call with processes, right? The advancement of the technology, what do you call, the demand is is not going to be to be setting up something that is creating a what I call how should I say uh, what I call that we set up something that is being or will be setting up as a work as usual, right? Business as usual. That will be changing, and therefore the process will need to be adapted. All right, the AI things that will, the technology will change the whole thing. Will change the way it works. Will change the workflows that will take place in the project, and therefore I think it's really uh, imperative, okay, or it's really significant for the organization to keep on holding the way they manage the work by adapting, the processes. That's probably the first aspect on the processes. The second aspect of the processes itself is also the governance, right? The governance setup the process. So then it is not only putting how the sequence of work, but also to set up what is right. Okay, and the governance is also important when it comes with the authority, with the escalation, or even with the decision where letter cannot be done by one person because of the limitation of the authority. They shall, or they will be coming up with the steering group, for example. So then I think it's really important to know how the process will adapt, with these changes. And the last one is the tools. Dealing with tools, that means not only tools, particular tools for the project itself, with the automation and everything, but also the tools to oversee anything, right? To oversee the whole thing, to oversee the elements that is somehow linked with the projects, with resources, with costs, with time, even with risk, or with other knowledge areas that is basically relevant to that projects. It is becoming more imperative or more important for that organization whenever they deal with multiple projects. All right, because dealing with one particular project is different. All right, when we deal, or if we compare with managing multiple projects, for example, because every project probably have their own priorities. Every project has probably its characteristic, its challenges, and the organization needs to have this balance, right? And because of this balance, basically they need to have this visibility, and without the tools, right? Without a proper tools, it's really hard for the organization, to manage them, to make a correct decision, the right decision, in a timely manner. So I think that is particularly the three aspects that I see is more into internal factors, Mr. Mirza.
Oh, just great. Just great. Thank you very much for this sharing, because definitely it has the value, and it is definitely bring the prospective businesses and the professionals to think about and to make the best use of your exposure and your experience. Thank you very much. Now let me go to the next question. That is, that what is your suggestion and your advice to the businesses, particularly to the professionals, to manage for their advancements in future? particularly with the present time challenges.
Interesting. I think what we cannot avoid is that the capabilities needs to be developed in line with the dynamics of the of the business, where the dynamics of the business will be affecting the way we deal with the projects. I would still touch upon these three elements that I said before. So number one is that it's really important, to develop the skills and the knowledge of the project management talents. It's not particularly only for having, for example, certification, but also to mentor them, because mentor them means that we cannot expect that that they learn the project from the class. They need to learn the project from the project itself. So they need to be mentored. They also need to be developed within the time. So then it is very critical to have an integrated individuals development plan for these talents. All right. For example, what would be the critical competencies, for short term, middle term, and longer term, and how the development, the syllabus is somehow is prepared in order for the resources to learn, right? And how the mentoring and the coaching program are also set up is also very, very critical for the individuals, for the talents. The second one, the second part is also related with the processes. Adapting the new ways of working because of the external factors will be affecting the way they do, the activities, and hence the process need to be adapted, need to be set up so well, so then the new ways of working is not how should I say, is not going to disturb the way it is changed. What I was trying to say is that it has to be some sort of a staggering change. So it could be also a radical change, but we also need to be very, very careful with this change. Risk management aspect need to be taken into consideration whenever this massive or major change will take place, immediately. And the change management, right? Not only the process is adapting, but also to ensure that the organization is also following the change, right? So we cannot forcing them to follow something that has been setting up, that they have to follow, but also to educate them, to ensure that this transition for these changes is going to run smoothly. And last but not least, I would emphasize on the tools. I would go with tools that is more towards technology adoption. So you mentioned it in the very beginning, Mr. Mirza. So the AI adoption, I think it is unavoidable, right? The technology setup is forcing us, to utilize the new technology, so then it could bring benefits to the project and hence to the organization. So for what I was trying to say is that technology adoption have to be a DNA of the organization that is picking up with changes, so that organizations that are adaptive, so they have to adapt with this technology. And then by having this adoption. So they have to somehow adapt with the new tools. And the new tools not only will require probably the changes of the process, but also the individuals to the talents to learn the new technology. I think in the recent practice, and by the way, since you touch upon this AI adoption. I've been dealing with with my research activities with my students and my colleagues in the university, to explore how is the adoption of AI for the for the project management. And surprisingly, there is a drive on the organization, but somehow it's really hard to for the organization to adapt with the new technology, because they need guidance. They need the governance, how to deal with this. For example, doing or setting up the AI for project management in what matters. For example, how long or how high that we can, how low that we can go with AI. For example, in my recent research, financial services is very strict with usage of AI because of they are regulated, but non-financial services, they are pretty much more adaptive, more free to utilize this technology, but again, they haven't got this the feel in how they that they have to to adapt with AI for their for them to to manage the projects. So that's pretty much the three elements that I would like to touch upon on these internal factors, Mr. Mirza.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very right. You have very correctly said that finally you have to deal with AI in an effective manner. Here, the question coming to my mind is, do you think there is any precautionary way to make the best use of AI, or one can go with AI in any way one's like?
Oh, very very good question. I think again, knowing that the usage of AI in our country is still very limited, but the good thing is that the demand is there. All right, the demand is there, and then our study is still in qualitative the qualitative way. So then they are still lacking in in guidance on how they should apply this. And maybe, I don't know, since our respondents is more towards financial services, and financial services industry is very regulated industry in our company, in our country. So then I think it's really need to be driven strongly, top down, from the government, from the from the senior of the management on the company. So then they have somehow a path in how wide or how high or how low that they can go with the AI. What I understood in current practices, the use of AI is still very minimum. Minimum means that because of this limitation on the governance, so they do not, or they haven't been very very eager to explore more in in the utilization of AI in our industry, right? Especially in the project.
Okay, great. But still, one question comes to my mind, that is, how at the individual level one should be adapting or collaborating, to what extent with AI? Because when I'm using AI for my support, then how best I should, because why I'm saying this, I know that I can get the support of AI in whatever way I want, but I have to maintain my individuality. I have to maintain my position in the market, and to keep that position, my competitive edge should remain as an individual professional. So in that way, what is your advice that how best we should be taking support or making ourselves comfortable with the use of AI?
Right. It is very, very good and very interesting question, Mr. Mirza. I think what I see right now, because this technology space is very, is very high, and I think there is a very very limited time to learn, and the advancement on the technology itself is much higher, in comparison, when we compare that with the amount of time and effort that we need to learn. I think what we can do is that, we learn from the experience. We learn from the experience from other industries, or from other organizations that have been going through that step before. Like having seminars, having a conference, especially in project management, respectively, for the usage of AI, because as I said, it's really hard for us to learn from the scratch. I think it's better to for them to be part, or to learn from from the previous organization. I mean, from the organization who has been doing with AI. And second, I think with the helps of experts like you, like some other practitioners that have been gone through the process before. It's very, very useful, because I think the current business practices, and the advancements of technology is so fast. So then, if the organization, do not spend their time and effort, effectively, so basically, there will be left out from the business. Okay, because recently it's either we change, right, or they will change us.
Yeah, very right. Very right. Yes, very right. Okay, thank you very much for this insightful contribution. This is going to be helpful, definitely. Let me move on to the next area, and here, let me share what services are available from the PMO, from the PM Strategist Corner. When we help the businesses, we help them and do the diagnostic assessment of gaps in the strategy and execution, which is the basic requirement, because most of the time organizations do have their strategy, but either they are not aligned with that strategy, or they are doing it sporadically. That means they are not pursuing the strategic advancements in its true sense. So that assessment can be done for the businesses, and the strategic alignments can be arranged for them, and the discipline strategy execution can be organized. This is the area which really needs for every businesses to move in their city directions, because unless and until they have that systems, they have that processes, they cannot move on in a disciplined manner. So that is the area where PM-Strategist Corner can bring the support. Second area is establishing PMO for the businesses, and if they have their PMO already existent, then that can be optimized with their functions through the assessment and through the support services. The third area is change management, because in the present time, change is taking place so fast that organizations are flabbergasted by the changes. But there is no way out but to manage the change, and for that they need to develop their change management muscles. So PM Strategist Corner can bring those muscles built up in the organizations and help them to move with the change in an effective manner. The fourth area is leadership development, because without having a strong leadership, and particularly the strategic leadership, the organizations cannot manage their strategic advancements, cannot manage their change management, and cannot move on in an effective manner. So this strategic leadership is a mindset, is a way of working, and that needs to be understood, that needs to be prevailed in the entire organizations if organizations are interested to move their businesses in their strategic directions. So these are the four areas extensively where PM strategists can help out the businesses to move in their strategic directions and not only survive in the present time, but for all time to come. Further on, this all needs to bring the training, and that training is also held by the PM-Strategist Corner, and the area of the training or building resilience and adaptability in the team and leaders, enhancing communication and collaboration, because communication is the basic the theme and basic requirements in the organizations. If it is done correctly, then the whole organizations work as a whole. Otherwise, the communication gaps make out the organizations to fall apart, and that is of course not wanted by any organization. So that communication process and communication systems can be developed and needs to be developed. So there PM strategists can help out the organizations. Driving innovation and creativity. The present time, it is said that the world has entered into an economy of innovation and creativity. So that needs to be built into the organizations in an effective manner, and for that, PM strategists can help out the businesses to move with that innovation and creativity, because this innovation is not to be done by few people assigned for that. It should be done at every level and by every team member, and for that there needs a mindset. Growth mindset is the basic thing. So that needs to be developed. Then finally, developing strategic thinking and problem solving skills, because without having strategic thinking, the organizations cannot manage their change management, cannot move on to their strategic directions. So this is the again training area which needs to be carried out, and PM Strategist Corner can help the organizations to move with that. With this, we have reached to the final stage of our podcast. Thank you very much for your time, for your learning interest, and I wish you for all success in time to come and for your learning. Before I close down, let me go back to my learner speaker and ask him if there is anything finally he wants to add to whatever he has said so far. Dr. Ichsan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mirza. I think it's a really great session. And as I said, with the new business setup and the advancements of very fast technology, I think it's really good to to learn from such organization, so we can learn fast. We learn from the experts. And really hope that the organization can can pick up this change in a timely manner. Thank you, Mr. Mirza.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time and for your deliberation and your sharing knowledge and experience. Thank you very much. With this, I'm going to close it down. Thank you very much once again.